Hi guys, and welcome to Rufus and Doofus. Chico and Rufus here today, and today is, I forgot, May something. I think let me see, today is May 19th. God, I had to think there for a minute. In any case, as you can see, Guz is back here. We're back at the compound. Um, I picked it up yesterday from Jeff, and I just wanted to let you know that the vehicle is still not fixed as far as the engine problem, um, but he got the rear axle seal all complete. Everything is fine there. Wonderful man, did a great job. And now he wanted me to get the vehicle out of his lot because he's got to do some other work on some other vehicles. But it has been prepped for our test ride, which is supposed to take place on Saturday. And when I say prepped, the exhaust has been separated. So in a couple of different spots, and what we're going to do is see if the problem reoccurs. The only way this problem seems to rear its head most of the time is after a pretty long test drive. So that's why we're going to do this this Saturday. He is coming on board with his son, who's also his assistant and mechanic, and we're going to try and determine what's wrong. The way the exhaust has been separated, it's done in such a way that we can isolate whether it's the front where the Y is or if it's going to be after that where the mufflers are. So if the problem doesn't occur again, chances are that it's in the rear portion. If the problem does occur again, it's going to be up front in the forward portion. Also, during the test drive, there will be a scanner attached monitoring the electronic components of the engine. We'll see if we get any readings while we're driving. Also, if the problem occurs, there will be a fuel pressure hooked up during the drive so that we can monitor what the pressure is doing while the problem's occurring, if it occurs. And there will also be a vacuum gauge on the intake manifold, which is going to monitor the vacuum as we drive, and if the problem occurs, we should see a pretty drastic change in the readings. So that's the update on that part. And then I also have some bad news, because it's my luck. On the way back from Jeff's place, I took a main highway 16. It's a two-lane highway. It's all marked off with double lines and everything like that. I had never been on it approaching the west, going west. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Very intense sun right in my eyes. And driving, it's a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. I was doing the speed limit. And all of a sudden, this sign appears. It's a triangular sign, and the sign says, low tree ahead. Okay, low tree. No mention of height, no mention of anything, just low tree. So I immediately slowed down to 15 miles an hour. And from what I could see was all this stuff hanging off the tree, leaves and that moss that grows on the trees here in the south. That's all I could see. It was slightly blacked out because the sun was right in my eyes. And there was a vehicle coming down the other way. So at 15 miles an hour, I pulled to the left as far as I could because it was thicker on the right side. So I pulled as far as I could to the left. My front tire was probably right on the double line. At that point, the vehicle that was approaching me blew his horn at me. You know how it is, especially these old folks down here in Florida. I don't know. But it was blow your horn. Don't move, blow your horn. So I couldn't go any further out there. I'm sure because my wheels are inset a little bit on the RV, I'm sure that part of the RV was probably out there almost a foot, and the mirror on that side, the driver's side, was definitely out there further than a foot. It had to be maybe a foot and a half. And guess what, guys? All of a sudden I hear this tremendous noise. Crunch! I mean bad. And I said, oh my God, I tore the roof off. Well, I pulled over immediately. My friend Rick was behind me because he drove me down to get the RV. And I exited the RV and looked up, and what had happened was, fortunately, well, not so fortunately, but fortunately enough, it only hit the awning. It destroyed the awning. It pulled it out. It had a little pressure against it, actually put a bit of a hole in the fiberglass on the outside, way up top. It's the awning is non-savable. Now, in my opinion, I think that tree was a serious problem and should have been marked better, or that road should have said no trucks from this point on, or any vehicle over 6 feet or 7 feet, whatever, should have been posted that way. Because there's no way to clear it unless you go into the opposing lane of traffic. And mind you, there's a double line there, and mind you that it's a heavily trafficked road. So, make a long story short, Gremlin got me. I mean, you know my luck, guys, by now. And I was very, very disappointed. Hate to say it, almost to the point that I wanted to cry. But right away I said to myself, well, it could have been a lot worse. I could have tore the whole goddamn roof off. And fortunately, it did not touch the roof line itself. It just grabbed the hold of the awning and did its number on that. And when I tell you it only grabbed it by an inch or so, but it was enough to create a major problem. Very disappointing, very disappointing. So I've got some pictures that I took, and I want you to look at this tree. I want you to see what I saw from the point where it said low tree, which was only probably maybe 20 yards ahead of the tree, so there weren't really many options. And I want you to look at how many times this tree has been hit, from, I would say, 6 foot off the ground and up to as far as high as a truck is, maybe a semi, whatever, however high they are. That's where the damage stops. Now, when I say that this tree was hit 1,000 times, maybe 2,000 times, I'm not exaggerating. I would imagine this tree has been hit more than 2,000 or 3,000 times from the looks of the tree. And this is not recent. This has to be going on for years, if you know how trees go and what happens to the tree as it's growing when it's damaged. There are pieces of steel hanging out from the tree. Okay? Now, in my estimation, this is gross negligence on the part of Vero Beach Highway Department. Gross negligence. Big deal. They put a sign there that says low tree. No warning of how many feet this low tree is, okay? And also, they put a sign that forces you, if you are going to avoid this thing, which nobody in their right mind would think that it'd be any lower than the legal limit, forces you into the right lane. So I'd love to see your opinion on it. A lot of you guys are going to say, well, I should have been smarter. I'll tell you what, when you're driving along, and every highway that you've been on your entire life, mind you, I've been driving more than 46 years, never had an accident probably in 40 years, and the one I did have was a fender bender where somebody ran into me. So, it's not that I'm a bad driver, and I am cautious. I've had the opportunity to drive under trees here in Vero Beach before, and most of them were on the country road that was heading to the lake and the campground. Yes, they're low, but they're just little tiny branches that kind of dust the roof a little bit, not a solid trunk of tree, which is about 4 feet around. Can you imagine that? And I know you think I'm exaggerating. Wait till you see the pictures of that tree, and you guys tell me. And if any of you are lawyers out there, let me know what I got to do to get some sort of satisfaction from Vero Beach to pay for this damage. I turned it into my insurance company this morning, and the adjuster is supposed to come out in the next couple of days. But guess what? I have $1,000 deductible. So am I going to have to pay that deductible? Yes. Should the Vero Beach pay for all of the damage? In my opinion, yes. Will this continue to be a problem for other vehicles that don't drive that road every day? First time down that road? Yes. Will they damage their vehicle? Yes. Has this tree caused maybe, who knows, $500,000 worth of damage? Figure out how many times it's been hit, and the fact that, you know, the average damage might be $1,000. Yes, it's gotten its share of people screwed because of the negligence of the way they put that sign and the way they presented the danger to a driver. Now, when I say this thing is dangerous, don't forget I also told you that 6 feet off the ground there's signs of damage. That means that something like a van that doesn't move at all is going to hit the tree with its roof line. That means that somebody like me with an RV Class A that goes through there has to go in the opposing lane just to make it through and still get some brushing from the leaves. I'm thoroughly pissed, folks. Thoroughly. And that's it. I'm done ranting. I wanted to let you know what happened. Yeah, that's what happened to me on the way back from Jeff's place. And I was happier than a pig in poop because we were going to, you know, follow through with this problem I've been having on here. The rear axle seal was all taken care of. Plans to take a nice test drive and once and for all nail down this problem that I'm having with the backfiring and loading up and you know, lack of power and all that. Jeff is still believing that the problem is exhaust. I'm inclined to believe him, but the nice thing is that he's prepared to go spend 3 or 4 hours with me on a Saturday afternoon with his son, who's also a mechanic, and take the time to take readings and fuel pressure readings and all kinds of vacuum readings to make sure that we have good information when this happens. So, you know, that's all I have to say about that. By the way, Guz sounds like a NASCAR, you know, with the muffler disconnected. Sounds kind of good, actually. Maybe we should put some headers and glass packs on it. Who knows? But I want to be incognito, real quiet, you know. That's what I want, and I want it to run. Trying to think of what else to tell you about that. I'm going to have the pictures posted during this video, and hopefully you can see from those pictures what I am talking about. And I'll tell you what, if you guys want to write letters to Vero Beach, be my guest, whatever, that is such a dangerous situation. Somebody's going to get killed there. Yes. I mean, all it takes is for maybe with the sun in a person's eyes and maybe at night, whatever, all of a sudden they see that sign, and if they're lucky enough that somebody trims the tree of that moss and crap that's hanging out and they spot that huge trunk, they may swerve to the left. And if somebody's coming the other way and it's a car and you're in a semi or a RV or something, somebody's going to get hurt and maybe die. That's how bad it is. Yes. So, at the end of this video, the awning is dangling off. I'll probably have some short clips of me trying to disassemble the awning from the vehicle so that I can go on this test drive Saturday, because I cannot, in good conscience and confidence, go out into traffic with this thing the way it is, because it could separate from the RV at any time. And that's it, folks. I mean, I don't know what else can go wrong for me, but I never, ever expected that tree to be in the condition and where it was. It definitely was way below any legal limit. And getting a sign with no other information except for the fact that it says low tree, at that point, when you don't see any footage, no distance, no nothing, you're thinking low tree. So it's got some, you know, some of that moss growing off. No big deal, right? Can't hurt anything. At the worst, might, you know, scrape up the roof. At the worst. or maybe break a tall antenna. Not even that though, because you just don't expect it when you don't see any clearance numbers. I'm pissed, and it probably shows. Other than that, things are pretty good. The rear axle seal is fixed. I've plotted a route up to Chad Ledbetter's place. When I leave here, I'm heading to Virginia, and we're both going to attempt to put a solar system in on our rigs. And when I say attempt, we're going to do it. It's just a matter of cash. You know, having cash, him and I both. But that's the plan. And get this puppy ready to go on the road. I can smell victory coming over this problem. And God knows why I'm having all these other issues, and, you know, throw the tree on top of there that really, really, really frosts me. And, you know, you can't start a lawsuit unless you have personal injury, because no attorney will take it. They won't take it unless they're going to make, you know, $500,000 off your, or $250,000. That's how they make their money. So, you know, anything that's a safety hazard like this, if they can't make money on it, eventually they will, because somebody might really get hurt there, and then they can make their money and take care of the problem. But in the meantime, that freaking tree is still there with that sign. And I'm going to tell you, you take a look at them pictures and you tell me what you think. You tell me. And I'm not done pursuing this yet. I've already made note of it on the insurance claim. I wanted it stated that I believe this is not my fault, and that I was caused this problem was a gross negligence by the city of Vero Beach and their lack of attention to the problem. And that's it. You're probably bored by now. I'm about ready to, you know, beat something up or cry my eyes out, one or the other. But like I said, there is some good news to the story, right? Axle bearing fixed, going on a test drive, gonna nail this engine problem down, and then we just got to deal with the awning. That's it. Thank God it didn't rip the roof off of this thing. Whew, that would have sucked. Well, that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll see you soon, and hopefully it'll be all good news. And there's that word, hopefully, again. Good news. That's what I want to tell you guys. Good news. Everything is fixed. And then I can come in here and finish up the few things I want. It's been at the shop so many times, I haven't had an opportunity to finish the little things. But we will. I'm keeping the faith. And thank you guys for all the wonderful support that you have given me and all the great comments. Thank you. And as you can imagine, with everything that's been going on, not much time to respond to them all. I'm doing my best, you know. I do a bunch every night, and hopefully I'll get to yours soon. There I go rambling again. Bye-bye.